Hey, hi, hello there, and welcome back to Formula Amateur, where today we'll be talking all about the Montreal Grand Prix, and we will catch up on everything that I've missed while I was away, because I've lost my voice for a whole week or two. So now let's get back to business, shall we? So first of all, we'll start off with F1 Academy, as always. Then we'll go on to Formula 2, and finally we'll round up with Formula 1. So in free practice, the slowest time was Kosterman in 18th with 19 laps. In 17th was Fisher with 18 laps. In 16th was Jacquet with 18 laps. In 15th was Dobson with 19. In 14th was Pats with 17. In 13th was Stevens with 20. In 12th was Granado with 15. In 11th was Countryman with 19. In 10th was Gaidman with 19. In 9th was Robertson with 19. In 8th was Ferrero with 20. In 7th is Lloyd with 18. In 6th was Larson with 21. In 5th was Westcott with 17. In 4th was Billard with 19. In 3rd was Bruce with 21. In 2nd was Felbermeyer with 20. And in first was Palmowski with 7. The quali Formula One Academy was given an extra race due to the cancellation of Jeddah. So as a result, the first quali will cover the first race and the reverse grid race. We'll start off with the reverse grid race and then the second race. And then we'll go into the second qualifying for the extra race and the results of that as well. So in qualifying, in 18th was Kosterman again. She stayed where she was. In 17th was Fisher, who stayed where she was. In 16th was Lloyd, who dropped 9 positions. In 15th was Robertson, who dropped 6 positions. In 14th was Stevens, who dropped 1 position. In 13th was Jacquet, who gained 3 positions. In 12th was Dobson, who gained 3 positions. In 11th was Granada, who gained 1 position. In 10th was Billard, who dropped 6 positions. In 9th is Gaidman, who gained 1 position. In 8th was Countryman, who gained 3 positions. In 7th is Ferrara, who gained 1 position. In 6th was Larson, who stayed where she was. In 5th was Pats, who gained 9 positions. In 4th is Felbermeyer, who dropped 2 positions. In 3rd was Bruce, who stayed where she was. In 2nd was Westcott, who gained 3 positions. And in 1st was Palmowski, who stayed where she was. And as a result of F1 Academy only having 18 places for drivers, the top 8 were reversed for the reverse grid race, and the results of that reverse grid race was as follows. In 18th position was Dobson, who did not finish the race. In 17th was Robertson, who also did not finish the race, followed by in 16th Gaidman, who also did not finish the race. In 15th was Stevens. In 14th was Fisher. In 13th was Lloyd. In 12th was Jacquet. In 11th was Larson. In 10th was Palmowski. In 9th was Kosterman. In 8th was Ferreira. In 7th was Bruce. In 6th was Felbermeyer. In 5th was Billard. In 4th was Granada. In 3rd was Westcott. In 2nd was Countryman. And in 1st was Pats. And now the second race for the first qualifying. In 18th was Kosterman, who stayed where she was in comparison to qualifying. In 17th it was Dobson, who dropped 5 positions. In 16th was Westcott, who dropped 14 positions. In 15th was Billard, who dropped 5 positions. In 14th was Granado, who dropped 3 positions. In 13th was Robertson, who gained 2 positions. In 12th was Jacquet, who gained 1 position. In 11th was Fisher, who gained 6 positions. In 10th was Felbermeyer, who dropped 6 positions. In 9th was Gaidman, who stayed where she was. In 8th was Stevens, who gained 6 positions. In 7th was Countryman, who gained 1 position. In 6th was Lloyd, who gained 10 positions. In 5th was Larson, who gained 1 position. In 4th is Ferreira, who gained 3 positions. In 3rd is Pats, who gained 2 positions. In 2nd is Bruce, who gained 1 position. And in 1st was Palmowski, who stayed where she was. And now on to the second qualifying for that extra race that the women of Formula One Academy received to make up for the race they did not get to have. In 18th was Lloyd, who dropped 5 positions. In 17th was Costa, who dropped 8 positions. In 16th was Fisher, who dropped 2 positions. In 15th was Jacquet, who dropped 3 positions. In 14th was Granado, who dropped 10 positions. In 13th was Robertson, who gained 4 positions. In 12th was Stevens, who gained 3 positions. In 11th was Dobson, who gained 7 positions. In 10th was Gaidman, who gained 6 positions. In 9th was Countryman, who dropped 7 positions. In 8th was Billard, who dropped 3 positions. In 7th was Larson, who gained 4 positions. In 5th was Pats, who dropped 4 positions. In fourth is Felbermayr, who gained 2 positions. In third is Westcott, who stayed where she was. In second is Bruce, gained 5 positions. And in first is Palmowski, who gained 9 positions. This is all in comparison to where they finished in the reverse grid race. And now for the second race, the results are as follows. In 18th was Fisher, who dropped 2 positions. In 17th was Dobson, who dropped 6 positions. In 16th was Countryman, who dropped 7 positions. In 15th is Billard, who dropped 7 positions. In 14th is Robertson, who dropped 1 position. In 13th is Jacket, who gained 2 positions. In 12th is Costa, who gained 5 positions. In 11th is Stevens, who gained 1 position. In 10th is Ferreira, who dropped 4 positions. In 9th is Lloyd, who gained 9 positions. In 8th is Granado, who gained 6 positions. In 7th is Gaiman, who gained 3 positions. In 6th is Larson, who gained 1 position. In 5th is Pats, who stayed where she was. In 4th is Westcott, who dropped 1 position. In 3rd is Bruce, who dropped 1 position. In second is Felbermayr, who gained 2 positions. And in first is Palmowski, who won the race from pole position. So where is the Drivers' Championship for? Now, in first position is Palmowski with 78 points, followed by Felbermayr with 53, 25 points behind. In third is Bruce with 37, 16 points behind Felbermayr. In fourth is Westcott, who has 36, 1 point behind Bruce. In fifth is Pat with 35 points, 1 point behind Westcott. In sixth is Gaiman with 30 points, 5 points behind Pats. In seventh is Ferreira with 27 points, 3 points behind Gaiman. In eighth is Lloyd with 23 points, 4 points behind Ferreira. In ninth is Larson with 23 points, on par with Lloyd. In 10th is Granada with 17 points, 6 points behind Larson and Lloyd. In 11th is Countryman with 14 points, and that's 3 points behind Granada. In 12th is Billard with 12 points, 2 points behind Countryman. In 13th is Stevens with 4 points, 8 points behind Billard. In 14th is Dobson with 1 point, 3 points behind Stevens. In 15th is Costerman, who is on 0 points and 1 point behind Dobson. And then Robertson is also on 0. Fisher is on 0. Jaquette is on 0. And she, who was the wild card in China, is also on 0. So where does that leave the teams then? So in first position is Campos Racing with 142 points. In second is Prema Racing with 88 points, 54 points behind Campos. In third is Rodin Motorsport with 80 points, 8 points behind Prema. In fourth is MP Motorsport with 53 points, 27 points behind Rodin. In fifth is Art Grand Prix with 26 points, 27 points behind MP Motorsport. And in sixth is High Tech with 1 point, which means they're 25 points behind ART Grand Prix. And now let's move on to Formula 2. So we'll start off with their first practice, and their scheduling was as normal. In 22nd position was Maney, who did 10 laps. In 21st was Boyle, 21. In 20th was Montoya, 21. In 19th was Gurka with 22. In 18th was Miata with 24. In 17th was Villagomez with 24. In 16th was Intrapufazak with 24. In 15th was Belinsky with 22. In 14th was Camaro with 22. In 13th was Fittipaldi with 25. In 12th was Mini with 19. In 11th was Bennett with 23. In 10th was Shields with 23. In 9th was Herter with 23. In 8th was Dirksel with 26. In 7th was Van Hoopen with 22. In 6th was Leon with 18. In 5th was Boganovic with 23. In 4th was Verone with 24. In 3rd was Solov with 20. In 2nd was Stenshorn with 25, and in first was Dunn with 25. And now let's move on to qualifying, where the 22nd driver was Boyer, who dropped 1 position. In 21st was Goethe with 20, who dropped 2 positions. In 20th was Intrapufazak with 4 positions dropped. In 19th was Herter, who dropped 10 positions. In 18th was Montoya, who gained 2 positions. In 17th was Shields, who dropped 7 positions. In 16th was Mayata, who gained 2 positions. In 15th was Belinsky, who stayed where he was. In 14th was Boganovic, who dropped 9 positions. In 13th was Maney, who gained 9 positions. In 12th was Verone, who dropped 8 positions. In 11th was Fittipaldi, who gained 1 position. In 10th is Mini, who gained 2 positions. In 9th is Villagomez, who gained 8 positions. In 8th was Leon, who dropped 2 positions. In 7th was Bennett, who gained 4 positions. In 6th was Dirksen, who gained 2 positions. In 5th was Stenshorn, who dropped 3 positions. In 4th, Solov, who dropped 1 position. In 3rd is Dunn, who dropped 2 positions. In 2nd is Camaro, who gained 12 positions. And in 1st is Van Hoopen, who gained 6 positions. This means that the reverse grid race for them looked as follows. So the 22nd to 11th positions stay as they are, and then in 10th position was Van Hoopen, in 9th was Kamara, in 8th was Dunn, in 7th was Solov, in 6th was Stenshorn, in 5th was Dirksen, in 4th is Bennett, in 3rd is Leon, in 2nd is Villagomez, and in 1st is Mini. So how did the sprint race pan out? Well, in 22nd was Indrapufazak, who did not start the race as a result of an injury that he got during qualifying, and he did not compete for the rest of that weekend due to him and his medical condition. In 21st was Bennett, who did not finish the race. In 20th was Dirksen, who did not finish the race. In 19th was Shields, who did not finish the race. In 18th is Villagomez, who did not finish the race. In 17th is Montoya, who did not finish the race. So we now go to the first actual finisher of the race. In 16th position, dropping 4 positions, was Verone. In 50th was Boyer, who gained 7 positions. In 14th was Solov, who dropped 7 positions. In 13th was Dunn, who dropped 5 positions. In 12th was Maney, who gained 1 position. In 11th is Miyato, who gained 5 positions. In 10th is Goethe, who gained 11 positions. In 9th is Herta, who gained 10 positions. In 8th is Belinsky, who gained 7 positions. In 7th is Kamara, who gained 2 positions. In 6th is Bogdanovic, who gained 8 positions. In 5th is Fittipaldi, who gained 6 positions. In 4th is Van Hoopen, who gained 6 positions. In 3rd is Stenshorn, who gained 3 positions. In 2nd is Mini, who dropped 1 position. And in 1st is Leon, who gained 2 positions. And now on to the race, the feature race. And as I mentioned before, Indrapufazak did not compete, so he dropped 2 positions to where he was in qualifying. And then in 21st was Van Hoopen, who did not finish the race. He dropped 20 positions. In 20th was Fittipaldi, who did not finish the race and dropped 9 positions. In 18th was Bennett, who did not finish the race and dropped 12 positions. In 18th was Villagomez, who did not finish the race and dropped 11 positions. In 17th is Bogdanovic, who did not finish the race and dropped 3 positions. In 16th is Miyato, who did not finish the race and stayed where he was. In 15th is Goethe, who did not finish the race but gained 6 positions overall. In 14th was Kamara, who dropped 16 positions. In 13th is Belinsky, who gained 2 positions. In 12th is Solov, who dropped 8 positions. In 11th is Dirksen, who dropped 5 positions. In 10th is Leon, who dropped 2 positions. In 9th is Maney, who gained 4 positions. In 8th is Boyer, who gained 14 positions. In 7th is Herta, who gained 12 positions. In 6th is Verona, who gained 6 positions. In 5th is Shields, who gained 12 positions. In 4th is Montoya, who gained 14 positions. In 3rd is Mini, who gained 7 positions. In 2nd is Dunn, who gained 1 position. And in 1st is Stenshorn, who won the race and gained 4 positions. So how does this look for the Drivers' Championship in Formula 2? In 1st position is Mini with 57 points. In 2nd is Kamara with 36 points, 21 points behind. In 3rd is Solov with 35 points, 1 point behind Kamara. In 4th is Stenshorn with 35 points, on par with Solov. In 5th is Leon with 33 points, 2 points behind Stenshorn. In 6th is Van Hoopen with 33 points, on par with Leon. In 7th is Dunn with 30 points, 3 points behind Van Hoopen. In 8th is Bogdanovic with 24 points, 6 points behind Dunn. In 9th is Miyato with 22 points, 2 points behind Bogdanovic. In 10th is Dirksen with 16 points, 6 points behind Miyato. In 11th is Montoya with 60 points, on par with Dirksen. And in 12th is Herta, who is also on par with Montoya and Dirksen. In 13th is Verone with 14 points, 2 points behind Herta, Montoya and Dirksen. In 14th is Maney with 14 points, on par with Verone. In 15th is Indrapufazak with 13 points, 1 point behind Maney. In 16th is Goethe with 12 points, 1 point behind Indrapufazak. In 17th is Shields with 10 points, 2 points behind Goethe. In 18th is Boyer with 10 points, on par with Shields. In 19th is Fittipaldi with 4 points, 6 points behind Boyer. In 20th is Belinsky with 2 points, 2 points behind Fittipaldi. In 21st is Villagomez, who is on 0 points, 2 points behind Belinsky. And in 22nd is Bennett. And in terms of the Teams Championship, in first position is MP Motorsport with 69 points. And in second is Campos Racing with 68 points, 1 point behind MP Motorsport. In third is Rodin Motorsport with 65 points, 3 points behind Campos. In fourth is Invicta Racing with 52 points, 13 points behind Rodin. In fifth is High Tech with 38 points, 14 points behind Invicta Racing. In sixth is Trident with 33 points, 5 points behind High Tech. In seventh is ART Grand Prix with 27 points, 6 points behind Trident. In eighth is Dams Lucas Oil with 26 points, 1 point behind ART Grand Prix. In ninth is Primo Racing with 26 points, on par with Dams Lucas Oil. In 10th is Van Amersfoort Racing with 40 points, 12 points behind Prima and Dams Lucas Oil. And in 11th is AIX Racing with 14 points, on par with Van Amersfoort Racing. And now let's talk about the Montreal Grand Prix for Formula One. So this was a sprint weekend, so as a result of that, there was only one free practice session, and in 22nd position was Colapinto, who only did one. In 21st was Perez with 28 laps, in 20th was Bottas with 28 laps, in 19th was Behrman with 26 laps, in 18th was Lawson with 5 laps, in 17th was Stroll with 30 laps, in 16th was Gasly with 29 laps, in 15th was Sainz with 36 laps, in 14th was Albon with 15 laps, in 13th was Ocon with 32 laps, in 12th was Hadjar with 29 laps, in 11th was Bortoleto with 33 laps, in 10th was Alonso with 31 laps, in 9th was Hulkenberg with 28 laps, in 8th was Lindblad with 33 laps, in 7th was Piastri with 32 laps, in 6th is Norris with 32 laps, in 5th is Verstappen with 31 laps, in 4th is Leclerc with 36 laps, in 3rd is Hamilton with 36 laps, in 2nd is Russell with 35 laps, and in 1st is Antonelli with 33 laps. So where did they qualify for the actual sprint itself? In 22nd position was Albon, who did not even get to qualify due to mechanical issues, and then in 21st was Bottas, who also in 21st was Bottas, who dropped 1 position. In 20th was Gasly, who dropped 4 positions. In 19th was Behrman, who stayed where he was. In 18th was Lawson, who also wasn't able to put a qualifying time down. In 17th was Stroll, who stayed where he was. In 16th was Perez, who gained 5 positions. In 15th was Alonso, who dropped 5 positions. In 14th was Ocon, who dropped 1 position. In 13th was Colapinto, who gained 9 positions. In 12th was Bortoleto, who dropped 1 position. In 11th was Hulkenberg, who dropped 2 positions. In 10th was Sainz, who gained 5 positions. In 9th is Lindblad, who dropped 1 position. In 8th was Hadjar, who gained 4 positions. In 7th is Verstappen, who dropped 2 positions. In 6th is Leclerc, who dropped 2 positions. In 9th is Hamilton, who dropped 2 positions. In 4th is Piastri, who gained 3 positions. In 3rd is Norris, who gained 3 positions. In 2nd is Antonelli, who dropped 1 position. And in 1st it's Russell, gained 1 position. And now let's talk about how the sprint went. In 22nd position was Alonso, who did not finish the race. He dropped 7 positions. In 21st was Hadjar, who dropped 13 positions. In 20th was Gasly, who stayed where he was. 19th was Albon, who gained 3 positions. In 18th was Behrman, who gained 1 position. In 17th was Bottas, who gained 4 positions. 16th was Stroll, who gained 1 position. In 15th was Hulkenberg, who dropped 4 positions. In 14th was Perez, who gained 2 positions. In 13th was Ocon, who gained 1 position. In 12th was Bortoleto, who stayed where he was. In 11th was Lawson, who gained 7 positions. In 10th was Sainz, who stayed where he was. In 9th was Colapinto, who gained 4 positions. In 8th was Lindblad, who gained 1 position. In 7th was Verstappen, who stayed where he was. In 6th was Hamilton, who dropped 1 position. In 5th was Leclerc, who gained 1 position. In 4th was Piastri, who stayed where he was. In 3rd is Antonelli, who dropped 1 position. In 2nd was Norris, who gained 1 position. And in 1st was Russell, who won the race and stayed where he was. How did they qualify for the main race? In 22nd position, it was Stroll, who dropped 6 positions. In 21st is Bottas, who dropped 4 positions. 20th is Perez, who dropped 6 positions. In 19th is Alonso, who gained 3 positions. In 18th was Albon, who gained 1 position. In 17th was Ocon, who dropped 4 positions. In 16th was Behrman, who gained 2 positions. In 15th was Sainz, who dropped 5 positions. In 14th was Gasly, who gained 6 positions. In 13th was Bortoleto, who dropped 1 position. In 12th was Lawson, who dropped 1 position. In 11th was Hulkenberg, who gained 4 positions. In 10th was Colapinto, who dropped 1 position. In 9th is Lindblad, who dropped 1 position. In 8th is Leclerc, who dropped 3 positions. In 7th is Hadjar, who gained 14 positions. In 6th is Verstappen, who gained 1 position. In 5th is Hamilton, who gained 1 position. In 4th was Piastri, who stayed where he was. In 3rd is Norris, who dropped 1 position. In 2nd is Antonelli, who gained 1 position, and in 1st was Russell, who stayed where he was. And now the race was a little bit dramatic. A lot of people did not get to finish the race, including all of the 2019 rookies. So let's go through that, shall we? In 22nd position was Lindblad, who did not start the race and dropped 13 positions because the clutch on his car could not release, and that brought out a additional 2 sets of formation laps due to the difficulty in moving the car off the grid before the actual race starts. In 21st was Albon, who dropped 3 positions. He did not finish the race because Piastri crashed into him. In 20th was Alonso, who dropped 1 position. He did not finish because his seat was loose. In 19th was Russell, who dropped 18 positions. He did not finish the race due to some sort of mechanical error with his car. And then in 18th was Norris, who dropped 15 positions, who also had an issue with his car as well, some mechanical issue. And then in 17th was Perez, who gained 3 positions, although he did not finish the race. He had an issue with his suspension that only got worse as he actually was boxing to retire the car, because then when he was getting into the pit lane, the suspension broke completely. It was quite dramatic. In 16th was Bottas, who gained 5 positions. In 15th was Stroll, who gained 7 positions. In 14th was Ocon, who gained 3 positions. In 13th was Bortoleto, who stayed where he was. In 12th was Hulkenberg, who dropped 1 position. In 11th was Piastri, who dropped 7 positions as a result of getting a penalty for crashing into Albon that set him far back, as well as the fact that McLaren made the wrong decision of starting the race on inters because there was a threat of rain that never really came, so that put the boys back as well. In 10th was Baumann, who gained 6 positions. In 9th was Sainz, who gained 6 positions. In 8th was Gasly, who gained 6 positions. In 7th was Lawson, who gained 5 positions. In 6th was Colapinto, who gained 4 positions. In 5th was Hadjar, who gained 2 positions. In 4th was Leclerc, who gained 4 positions. In 3rd was Verstappen, who gained 3 positions. In 2nd was Hamilton, his best finish yet this season, with who gained 3 positions. In 1st was Antonelli, who gained 1 position, winning 4 races in a row. And as a result of this being Hamilton's best finish in Ferrari so far, he got Driver of the Day as voted for by the viewing public. How does this look for the Drivers' Championship? In 1st is Antonelli with 131 points, and then in 2nd is his teammate Russell with 88 points, 43 points behind, almost 2 race wins ahead. In 3rd is Leclerc with 75 points, 30 points behind Russell. In 4th is Hamilton with 72 points, 3 points behind Leclerc. In 5th is Norris with 58 points, 14 points behind Hamilton. In 6th is Piastri with 48 points, 10 points behind his teammate Norris. In 7th is Verstappen with 43 points, 5 points behind Piastri. In 8th is Gasly with 20 points, 23 points behind Verstappen. In 9th is Baumann with 18 points, 2 points behind Gasly. In 10th is Lawson with 16 points, 2 points behind Baumann. In 11th is Colapinto with 15 points, 1 point behind Lawson. In 12th is Hadjar with 14 points, 1 point behind Colapinto. In 13th is Sainz with 6 points, 8 points behind Hadjar. In 14th is Lindblad with 5 points, 1 point behind Sainz. In 15th is Bortoleto with 2 points, 3 points behind Lindblad. In 16th is Ocon with 1 point, 1 point behind Bortoleto. In 17th is Albon, who is on par with Ocon with 1 point. In 18th is Hulkenberg, who is 1 point down to 0 behind Albon. In 19th is Bottas, also on 0. In 20th is Perez with 0, Stroll with 0, and in 22nd is Alonso with 0. So how does the constructors look like? In the first is Mercedes with 219 points. In second is Ferrari with 147, 72 points behind Mercedes. In third is McLaren with 106 points, 41 points behind Ferrari. In fourth is Red Bull with 57 points, 49 points behind McLaren. In fifth is Alpine with 35 points, 22 points behind Red Bull. In sixth is Racing Bulls with 21 points, 40 points behind Alpine. In seventh is Haas with 19 points, 3 points behind Racing Bulls. In eighth is Williams with 7 points, 12 points behind Haas. In ninth is Audi with 2 points, 5 points behind Williams. In 10th is Cadillac with 0 points, 2 points behind Audi. And in 11th is Aston Martin with 0 points, on par with Cadillac. Thank you so much for watching or listening to this episode. Thank you for bearing with me while I struggle through trying to speak, as my voice is still not up to par. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I hope you check out all the other episodes that I'll be releasing in the next few days, including the Monaco Grand Prix of this weekend, as well as we'll be talking about the Indy 500 and the Indy race in Detroit as well. So look out for that one, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Don't forget to check out my lovely colleagues on the Be The Change Media Network. Don't forget to check out BeTheChangeMediaNetwork.com. Goodbye.